So I was actually working on a different video until they revealed the new Rorowa. And we need to talk about it. Or should I say, I want to talk about this. Stand up! Vanguard! Hey Cardfighters, welcome back to another Cardfight update, and today we see the second new upgrade to the glitter right lines. As last time we talked about, we saw the upgrade to the new Tegra, which also included a interesting Keter Sanctuary order package, but this time we have the brand new Rolla and a very interesting Blitz order package for Stoicheia. So let's dive into these cards and see what this has to do and how this could change things up, as these cards are pretty damn spicy. So first we start off with set Blitz order for set Blitz order package, and that is Invitation of Sweet Honey, a grade 2 Blitz order, which has the effect cost soul plus 1 to play the card, choose one of your units and it gets power plus 15k until the end of battle. If there is a Blitz order in your drop zone, the chosen unit gets power plus 25k instead of plus 15k. So essentially it's a 15k that turns into a 25k the more and more you use it, which is nice because that's actually quite a lot of shield, and that could easily one card guard a lot of attacks, and because it also circumvents certain annoying guard restrictions, it can be very nice, especially for the low cost that it has. And the great thing is we have some cards that support this specific Blitz order, so if you have the room in your deck, you can actually make this card relatively consistent and high value. Because we have a grade 1 double rare, which is View Pristiner, and View Pristiner has the effect continues a rearguard circle. During your turn, if there are 2 or more Blitz orders in your drop zone, this unit gets power plus 5k. So it could be a 13k attack or a booster, which is fine, but the condition is a bit iffy, so this won't be activated at the most consistent ways, but as the game progresses, then you will get this at some point. But then it also has the effect auto. When placed on rearguard circle, cost counter plus 1, search your deck or drop zone for up to 1 Invitation of Sweet Honey, reveal it to your opponent and add it to your hand. If you search your deck, shuffle your deck. So this is not only a deck search for this particular Blitz order, which is really good, but it can help you to get to multiple pieces, because the more copies you have, then the more activation you will get, or the more value of the Blitz order you have. But the interesting thing is, because it allows you to get them from the drop as well, allows you to get even more activations of said Blitz order. Now keep in mind, you can only use 1 Blitz order a turn, so depending on how long the game progresses, this might not come up all too often, because this will only get you more value the moment you get to like turn 5, turn 6, but maybe games won't last that long on a consistent basis. But regardless, it's a nice thing to have, and this could also mean you can potentially run less than 4 copies of the Blitz order. Now another support card that we have is a grade 2, which is Hallucinatory Morpho, and Morpho has the effect auto rearguard circle. When it attacks, if there is a Blitz order in your drop zone, cost soul plus 1, this unit gets power plus 10k until the end of the battle. So it could be a 20k beater, and the condition is much easier to fill than a grade 1, so this is relatively consistent for a pretty good beater. But then it also has the effect auto rearguard circle. At the end of the battle, which this unit attacked a Vanguard, cost counter plus 1, bind this unit, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or greater Blitz order without Regulus piece, reveal to your opponent, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. If your drop zone has a Blitz order, you may reveal a normal order for this effect instead of a Blitz order. So this is essentially any order searching for grade 2 or grade 3s, except for regular speeds. And yes, in the first case, it will probably only search Blitz orders, but as the game progresses, it opens up your entire deck, which that means this is a decent potential searcher for Zorga, for example. And this could be another way to get to your mask order, because this could potentially search for that if you already have access to Blitz orders. But keep in mind, because it's Stoicheia, we do have other Blitz orders as well. So things like Ghost Chase could come up as well. So this is quite a flexible card in a nation that really revolves around a lot of order cards. So this could definitely be a great generic card that we typically see in something like Brandgate, but now like a Stoicheia twist on it, with also this small new Blitz order package, which could definitely come up if your deck has a room to play these cards, as this is definitely a big bump to defensive plays. But now let's take a look at the new Rolla cards, which honestly are pretty damn nice, as we first off have a brand new grade 2, which is Aficionate Hunter Matthias, and Matthias has the effect, although when the unit is placed in the rearguard circle from hand, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Rolla in its card name, cost Solidus 1, retire 2 other rearguards, call 1 grade 2 or lower unit from your drop zone to the rearguard circle. So now we have drop zone reoccursion in Rolla, which is really good, because that means you can grab back your grade 2 Redolinas, which is going to be important for your whole engine. And now any 2 rearguards or any 2 plan tokens, which you can easily create with Rolla, can then translate into a brand new Redolina, which then can create another Moke token, which then achieves more multi-attack, which is pretty damn good. But that also has the effect, although in front or rearguard circle, at the start of your battle phase, if you have a unit with Rorowa and a unit with Rodolina in their card names, you may call 1 plant token to the rearguard circle. So this is a way to just flood the board with more tokens to pump up your columns, and of course have more targets for Rolla defensively wise to get more of the shield options as well. So overall, it's a decent effect. It's not like anything game breaking, but it's nice for Rolla to have more free token generation that then can be then put into your other skills that require units or plant tokens. But I think the most important thing about this card, of course, is the fact that you can resurrect your Redolinas. That is, of course, achieving your multi-attacks. And because you have more consistent access to your grade 2, that means your grade 3 Redolinas will also be much more consistent, as you don't have to keep drawing into the grade 2s in order to activate your grade 3s. The moment you have access to 1 grade 2, then if you have Matthias, you will always be able to activate your grade 3 Redolinas to achieve more multi-attacks, which is great for consistent pressure for the deck in general. But then we get to the big one, which is of course the brand new Rorowa himself, which is a Viridescent Flash Rorowa. And this Rorowa has the effect, although when this unit is placed by writing from a grade 3 unit named For Once Precious Thing Rorowa, which is the original grade 3, call 2 plant tokens to the rearguard circle, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, they get, although when this unit is retired from the rearguard circle, draw 1, activate Persona Rite. Before we analyze this effect, it also has another effect, which is auto on Vanguard circle. When it attacks, cost bind a For Once Precious Thing Rorowa from your soul. Choose one of your glitter rearguards, and until the end of turn, that unit and this unit get power plus 5k, and this unit gets critical plus 1, and at the end of your turn, write the card bound for this effect, cost as rest. So essentially what this card does is that you Persona Rite on top of the old Rolla, get 2 tokens that can draw a card if they get sacked, and then when the battle phase happens, you give the Vanguard plus 5k and a critical, and one of your glitter units 5k, and then you rewrite the old Rolla from the bind zone back onto the Vanguard, so you can Persona Rite into the new one the following turn. Now, of course, the obvious synergy with the plant tokens that can draw you cards is meant to synergize with the old Rolla effect that allows you to sacrifice those tokens during your opponent's turn to give power to the Vanguard, but then while you also getting shield value, you draw into more cards that could potentially give you more shield. Or if your opponent retires them with their effect, you also draw cards. But that's not really the main power plays of this card, because if you synergize this with like the Momoke token itself, which can sack the tokens for power, you draw more cards. Or you can synergize with the brand new grade 2 that can sack 2 rearguards to call Redolina from drop to again draw immediately 2 cards. So you start to suddenly draw a lot of cards for essentially for free, that then sets up your whole combo play. And the extra 5k power that you can give to your glitter units, if you look at the service, you're like, oh nice, I can give my Redolina extra 5k so I have a stronger attack. But you can actually give free units additional 5k power with this effect, because you can give the 5k to the Momoke token. So the Momoke token attacks for 5k extra. Then the Redolina grade 2 will copy that's power, so it also copies the extra 5k power, so that will attack for an extra 5k. And if you have the grade 3 Redolina, you sacrifice the grade 2 Redolina and a Momoke token, and then it gains their power, thus also gaining the additional 5k power. So this skill doesn't give like 10k power to the board, it effectively gives 20k power to the board for free. Which honestly is pretty damn good for no cost. Yes, I know the entire play of this is a turn 4 play to draw a couple of cards, have quite a decent amount of power, and of course have all your multi-attack on top of everything, which is pretty good, but it sounds relatively slow in the current format. But keep in mind, Rorowa does have some defensive plays, and with the new Blitz order package as well in Stoicheia, you could make the deck a bit more tankier as well to survive to this. but Rorowa is also known for early aggression straight out the gate because it creates plant tokens with the right line early on, so you can start beating with numbers without dedicating cards from hand. And if you open up a bit nutty, you can start unleashing 4 attacks on turn 2 immediately and start hosing your opponent with massive numbers and massive attacks straight out the get-go. And then this turn 4 play could essentially be the last nail in the coffin to close the game, because that's a pretty decent amount of value you can generate. And even if you missed a couple of pieces, the extra draw of the tokens could potentially draw into set grade 3 or the grade 2 or whatever you're missing at that point, which is good for consistency's sake. So yeah, the new Rorowa cards look pretty damn spicy, and I'm really looking forward to. And interestingly enough, the deck might actually become cheaper depending on how expensive the original trip bar is, because now you only need to run the original Rolla in your right deck and don't necessarily have to run multiple copies in your main deck, because the new Rolla is essentially also Persona Right targets and is probably a better target to go into than the original one. But depending on how we're going to build decks, maybe you want to just increase the consistency of Persona Writing in general, but we have to wait and see how that will pan out. But that essentially sums all my thoughts on these cards. Let me know your thoughts on these new Rolla cards, as well as this new Blitz order package for Stoicheia, as they're looking pretty damn spicy and really interesting, and I'm very curious of how this will impact the deck. And Rolla is looking pretty damn fun to play, if I'm not gonna lie, and I'm very excited to see these cards being revealed in their entirety so I can try out the deck to what it actually can do. But that's basically everything for me today. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on these cards, so hit me up in the comments down below what all your thoughts and opinions are and your potential strategies with these cards, as I'm very curious to know how things might pan out in the future. But with that said, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters over at patreon.com/FightInsider. You guys are amazing. If you want to support channel or everything that's happening on the channel, you can simply go to patreon.com/FightInsider and become a Patreon today. But with that said, I've been Mr. Time Leap, and I see you guys in the next one!